meeting to order. Roll call.
Counselor Lehman.
Here.
Counselor Marcus.
Here.
Counselor Larson.
Here.
Counselor Keithley. Mayor Swanson.
Here. Report from department heads, Public Works. We got Trent tonight. How's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
We finished up the alleys today, and we'll be going around with dust control tomorrow morning. So I'll get that done. I'm sure you've seen that we've been working out at the reservoir, at the water tower. And what happened is, inside our reservoir, we had a check valve that seized up, basically, and so it causes our pumps to burn up. But we got everything fixed, everything's about ready to go back online, so everything will be back to normal on Friday, is what the plan is.
Did you have to get some parts, Trent?
Yeah, we had to order a new check valve for in the reservoir. That's why we were pumping it out, and then we chlorinated because we were working in it. And so then we pumped that out because no one wants to be drinking chlorinated water in town, so we're giving everyone fresh water on
Okay.
Friday. And then we're looking at flushing sewers come starting next week, Monday. So you'll be seeing us going around.
I brought that up before. If you go to the other communities, they have a little fireman or hydrant, and it's like a little tripod thing coming into town, and they have the dates and the times that they're gonna be flushing. And I think if we get the fire department to make up a couple of those, they would be, they just put them on certain corners.
Why would the fire department do it?
Well, usually they flush them in other towns.
Well, we flush hydrants here too.
I know.
And we usually,
We try to let the residents know ahead of time. Diane and I said
Well,
that
whether we
others-
flush them or the fire department flush them, is to put up these little things to
I
tell
didn't
everybody.
mean, did I say hydrants?
no, you said sewers.
I said sewers.
Well,
Yeah.
we are,
Yeah.
Okay.
we are doing, when you do sewers, we open up the fire hydrant. But
So you're just gonna be doing the sewers,
Yeah, we're just doing sewers for the
Okay.
time being.
you're just gonna flush water down them?
Yep.
Okay.
Make it so we have less problems for the winter.
Sounds good. That it?
Yep.
All right, thanks, Trent. Ambulance? Fire and ambulance? No one's here tonight. Do you have anything, Stu?
No,
Okay.
Josh didn't say nothing.
All right. Engineering?
Just the agenda item.
Okay. Long-range planning and zoning?
Nothing since
Yeah.
last time. Next meeting will be Tuesday, August 8th at 4 o'clock at City Hall.
Okay. Recreation board?
We had a meeting Monday. Park and Rec did the races at the park last night, had about 15 kids. They gave away Slide City tickets, I guess a couple of kids
We
got
did.
them. Huh?
Yeah, they drew for 2 Slide the City tickets,
Yeah.
and they gave away candy, money. Well, it was $2, and her McDonald's gift certificates.
And everything was donated there.
Yep,
Where'd the money come from?
We didn't have to spend a nickel.
No?
the money came from the people on the board, the Parks and Rec board.
Really?
It was just $2 a winner, so it was a minimum amount, like $14 or something.
There wasn't actually a meeting this last time because they didn't have a
We didn't have a
quorum.
Oh, yeah, they just, a couple of girls met and went
Right.
around stuff for the races and stuff, so.
I was thinking there should be a request for money for these games coming up. Usually Parks and Recs makes a request for like $200 if you would want to do that tonight.
We don't need any money.
Actually, we're having a meeting next Monday, August 4th,
Okay,
so.
you can discuss it then if you want to request any funds for like the sawdust pile and all of that.
We got everything
Okay,
donated,
all right,
everything.
Nice.
all right,
We still have one vacant seat on the board,
right.
and if anybody's interested in, call City Hall.
And you can let me know,
Yep.
and then I'll decide who to appoint if there's more
We
than
have a
one.
grand marshal for the parade that's gonna be on August 19th.
Who is that?
It's gonna be Leo and Tapio Mackey.
Very nice.
Great choice.
The holy schmoly parade.
Yes.
Is that it?
That's it from
Okay.
recreation.
All right. Library Board, you've got some minutes in your packet from the meeting. They've got another one coming up on the 17th. And we have an opening now on our board, and I would like to appoint Anita View to the Library Board. She's shown interest in the past, and I had talked to her before Sharon had put in her request. And I know Sharon would be a really good board member. We'll have openings coming in the future here, so eventually I would like to appoint her. But I'd already talked to Anita, approached her, and she was willing to serve, so I told her I'd appoint her.
The only problem I have with that is that Anita don't live in town.
She,
Within the city limits, you know.
right, she used to, and she is still a very active member of the community, and she's been a lifelong patron to our library. And she's a smart woman, and I've served with her on other boards. I know she would do a good job. I don't think there'd be any problem with how she would advise with the money. She clerked over in Kinney for a few years, so she knows quite a bit about finances.
Well, still, Marks has been on the board before, and I think she could give the newer board some direction.
She would be good, but I would like to appoint Anita, and I think she'd be a good member. There will be more openings coming.
Well, the
And I
only
did
letter
tell
we
her
saw
that I
from
would.
anybody that requested to be on the board was,
I talked to her though, and we don't always see letters of request. Sometimes it's a conversation, and the mayor makes the appointments, and I talked to somebody that I wanted to appoint, and she said she
well,
would be
you would
willing to
recommend
serve.
somebody, but we,
I appoint and you confirm.
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't know that the council has ever not gone ahead and confirmed a choice of appointment made by the mayor.
well, usually somebody who wants to be on any board, whether it's recreation, whatever, has a letter of.
Not always though.
Oh, well,
not always.
That's the way it's been, and I think that's the way we
Well,
should
Jen
stay with.
didn't. Jen didn't have a letter, and I would have appointed her had I had a chance to talk to her when she wanted to be on the rec board. But, no, I just don't really see an issue here. I know she'd be a good member on our board. I'd really like to appoint her. Have her appointment approved by the council.
Well, I would still like to go with Marks.
I think having somebody that's in Buhl and put a letter in would be, shows more of a commitment.
Anita and Dim have lived here for their whole lives between Kinney and
Oh.
Buhl and just outside of Buhl.
Yeah, I know.
And they're very active in our community.
But
Well, Sharon goes up to the library probably once a week.
Anita uses the library regularly as well,
Yeah.
and has for years.
I think both would be absolutely excellent choices.
Well,
And
I mean, I don't
usually
have a
it's
problem
been
with either
the
one.
courtesy of the council to allow the appointments the mayor wants to make.
well, I would go with Sharon.
Well, I'm appointing Anita,
Well, we have to approve your appointment.
but I will make the appointments, John.
Well, I think
And
in the
at
ordinance.
this time, I already told Anita that I wanted to appoint her.
Well, in the ordinance, it says you may recommend somebody, but the council has to approve your appointment.
Right, I appoint, you confirm the appointment, that's
Okay.
what it says.
Well, I'm confirming Sharon Marks.
I haven't appointed her. Not at this time. I will eventually when there's another opening, but it puts me in a really awkward position when, as the mayor, when I would like to appoint somebody who's qualified and would be a good member, not to have the support of my council. This isn't that big a deal, it's not rocket science.
just
It's just a board member, and she would be a very good one.
Any other appointment, we've had a letter saying that this person
We
wants to
haven't
be,
always. No, that's not true, Stuart.
Well, as long as I've been here, we have,
Yeah.
that I know of.
You didn't see one with, the last one was Jen Milich, and there was no letter.
And what?
No.
But we didn't appoint her either.
I wanted to talk to her before I made the appointment, but I would have made the appointment. after talking with her.
Yeah, and I talked to her and she
She
don't
decided
have
not to.
time.
Yeah,
So,
right. So
Well,
it's
I
not
guess
always
I'm
with a
not-
letter.
Well, I'll make a motion, we appoint Anita View. I mean, I think both would be excellent on board.
I agree with you, but say Sharon's the one that signed up and showed interest and been on the board before, and
There wasn't even an opening at the time that Sharon put her letter in, and we saw that there was one coming, and I had already spoken to Anita and told her that I'd like to appoint her before I ever saw Sharon's letter.
well.
That's why I think it's really important that when anybody's interested, that I be notified right away so that I can talk to them and decide on appointments.
Well, why did you not tell us this before? I mean, you brought that up about you had somebody, but you never
Yes.
told us who. Well, I don't know, secret or what?
No.
Oh. Well, he made a motion to go with Anita.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nah,
Motion,
I oppose.
motion carried. Vida? We had a
We had a
meeting.
couple issues.
Yeah.
I have Jamie with the report.
There we go. I couldn't attend that meeting, but yeah, BETA approved giving Billy's Bar a storefront loan for necessary improvements. And the next BETA meeting, of course, is August 30th, 5 PM. It's been moved to 1 hour due to music in the park that night.
Well, with the storefront loan, they are also looking for a third of the cost of that to come from a grant that they're applying for. And if they get that grant, then we are going to
And
loan
just
them
on
the other
that.
2/3, yes.
Okay.
How much is that?
About 20 grand.
Yeah,
It's a 5-year loan.
at
At
2%.
2%.
Recommend
Yeah.
2%. And then
Yeah.
Mike was supposed to
Yeah, he'll look at
try it
it.
all, dot the i's and cross the t's for us.
Draw it
so
up for it, yeah.
Make sure that it's good to go, and hopefully we're not owning a bar here in a few years.
All right. All right. Utility committee? I don't think it's commission, I think it's just committee. Isn't that what the attorney said it should just be? Did you guys meet and do anything?
No.
Okay. Sheriff's report, do we have
We have
one?
nothing from the,
Okay. Clerk's report?
We're working on the community fun days for Buhl. We have 24 entries in the parade so far. If anybody wants to be in the parade, call City Hall. We did the races in the park last night. Like Stuart said, we had 15 kids. Everything was donated, all the prizes. After the parade, we'll have music donated in the park. We have ice cream donated, games, all the prizes are donated. We have the beach blast after that. We have all the food's already been donated, the hot dogs, the popcorn, the juice. We have a few games there. There is a sign in Burton Park saying what the rules of the park are. It's next to the skateboard ramp, so we're going to try to work on getting another one. We're thinking about doing some things like a contest in town to make a sign for the park.
We've had one there before, but I don't know what happened to it.
What?
Well, no alcohol, no ATV. It was
We
a,
took it down last fall because it was in such horrible
Oh,
shape, and
well,
we were
we're
gonna
gonna-
have a new one
yeah,
made.
okay.
And that was just mentioned at the last board meeting,
Okay.
that they
And
might
there
look
is
at having
another-
something
There
made.
is the exact same sign that was up, still in the park. It's just next to the skateboard
Yeah.
part. The city did have 2 benches that you guys were installing today, or you pulled them out
We
today?
hope to, we'll try to put them in this week.
You'll put them on the north and south end of the playgrounds?
East and north, or, I think. Well, whatever
However
they
you guys want.
decide, yeah.
North and south is best so that it's not shining in your eyes if you're sitting on one side or the other,
wherever you stick them.
right? Probably.
Other than that, we just, we got the energy assistance vendor agreement to participate in the fuel assistance program.
Very good.
That's all.
Okay.
Well, thanks for all your calls and getting people to donate.
Yeah, hopefully
for
we
that.
get some more people for the parade.
Yeah,
Everybody has donated to come. We're not paying anybody for anything this year for the
and
entire
Leo
day.
just turned 101
101
yesterday.
Yes.
yesterday.
So he's gonna be the
Amazing.
grand marshal with his brother, and the two guys are known for the Holy Schmoly Fridays at downtown, so.
And their
It'd be-
children were so overwhelmed when we asked them. It was-
Yeah. And they're both vets, and they got the honor guard walking right behind them. It's gonna be
Very
kinda
nice.
neat.
Very nice.
Very much so.
11 o'clock Saturday, the 19th.
19th, yep.
Council additions to the agenda, we've got a few things. I would like to discuss that meeting with the auditor, having a meeting with the auditor. Also, the application for a raffle permit, you see that in front of you, that's for the Deer Hunters Association, and the municipal tort liability. We'll address those at the end. Do we have anything else to add? Okay, citizens forum, anybody wanting to speak to the council? Doesn't look like it. Gary, want to talk to us tonight?
Oh, they did a good job on the alleys.
Yeah.
Kinda happy with my alley getting fixed now.
Good job, Trent.
Really.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Could I, announce something? Me and part of the Rams thing, we went to a rally last week in Virginia, and Gary was kind enough to show up there too, so we had a rally at the Field of Dreams Park, and then we marched down to the high school and did that for the U.S. Forest Service hearing against the land withdrawals
Right,
for the thing, so good. Thanks for showing up, Gary.
very good. Was it a good turnout?
It's very good.
Good. All right. Consent agenda minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting of July 20th.
Support?
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Claims.
I so move that we pay the claims a total of $25,588.19.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item A on the agenda is the resolution 1720. All right, this is the resolution approving the issuance and sale of the healthcare facilities revenue note, Series 2017 Cornerstone Villa project.
I'll make a motion to.
Wait a minute.
Well, let's
We've
let
got
our advisor
a
tell
bond.
us.
Would you like to speak to us about this? That's okay.
You have a bond, Chris Verda, I'm with the Freiberger Law Firm, bond counsel to the city. We also have a representative from the borrower, Deb. She can speak to the project, I can speak to the financing and how that works. Federal law requires that we have a public hearing, that's why there was a notice that was published in the paper that allows members of the community to come and speak either for or against the project if they have any concerns. It's quite common that for these public hearings, no one actually shows up, but perhaps bond counsel and a representative from the borrower, because usually these projects are not controversial at all. But federal law requires that since we are using, the city will be issuing bonds so that the borrower can take advantage of the tax exempt interest rate, which is lower than conventional finance for them, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Deb, did you want to add anything tonight or no?
No, you said more than I could.
Okay. I think we covered it at the last meeting as well.
And we're protected and
Right. Stuart, do you want to make your motion at this time?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 1720.
Support.
2017, is it? Oh, okay, you're right.
1720.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
I
in
support
favor?
it. Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Can I have the roll call?
Counselor Lehman,
Yes.
Counselor Marcus,
Yes.
Counselor Keithley, Counselor Larson,
Yes.
Mayor Swanson.
Yes. All right, good luck with your project. Be a nice addition to our community.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, the next item is the Trailer Court Water Main Grant Street Alley. Everything we need to do in town project. Well,
Yeah, I believe Jen gave you a summary of the financing part of the project, and at the last council meeting, we discussed the bids that were taken. We talked about maybe deleting the sanitary sewer portion, but, right now, the total project cost is $186,756. And I don't know what your, let me go, I think there's 4 options. I mean, that'd be the award of both the base bid and the alternate, which is the Grant Street Alley water line.
well, John, when you and I lobbied this spring for the CDBG grant, wasn't it the trailer court project, the one that they actually awarded us for? Because we were after both of those projects.
And I haven't seen the CDBG grant agreement, how the language is actually written, but when
Okay.
I spoke with Mike Vidmore and Steve Nelson from the county, they indicated it was somewhat vague that it could be for either project.
Okay,
I mean, the funding is 70,000, so that funds would go towards the trailer court line, not necessarily the Grant
right,
Street alleys.
right.
The second option would be to award just the base bid for $147,400. And then the third option, as we discussed, award the base bid without the sanitary sewer portion for about $105,000, so.
Which,
And I spoke to Joel and Sop about the time extension. He doesn't have any problem. When we bid the project, we had a September 1st completion date on it, so he was requesting, that get extended towards the end of October or about November 1st to finish the project if it's awarded, so I didn't think that was gonna be a problem.
no. Have we heard anything from the IRRB about anything coming?
No. They haven't announced any new funded programs for public works projects as of yet.
Okay. I know we pushed this Grant Street Alley project back. We keep pushing it back every year, and every year it's a chronic problem. In the winter months, we have several water breaks back in there.
We have actually people living
And
there.
several insurance claims as well.
Yeah.
So, do you have enough in the capital for that, Jen? To do that?
To do both of them? To do both projects, the alley and the trailer court?
Well, 116, they would have to come up with.
We do.
I think, alternate B wouldn't be involved in the CDBG grant. I'm thinking it's the 147, not the 186.
Well, when we applied for the CDBG, we showed both projects in the
Right.
application, and they gave us 70,000. And it
But
was,
the second time we went in, John, I remember them saying, which of the two projects? Which of the two?
yeah,
And we had to
did
go.
talk about the trailer court, yeah.
Because there's a safety factor with that one. This one, it's a chronic problem, and I hate to see it put off, but they only awarded us 70,000,
Yeah.
so,
I think for us to come with some capital of 77 to 80,000 is pretty deep, and I don't think we want to go beyond that. I mean, if we just do the 150 on the trailer park water and sewer,
I probably shouldn't say they only awarded us that. We were lucky to get it because they have to pick and choose, and a lot of people didn't get anything, so we were fortunate to get some award from them. But if we end up just doing the trailer court and we don't do the sewer, it'll cost the city about $35,000.
that was the fourth option I wanted to make. You know, we could award the base bid without the sewer plus the Grand Street alley, which would be a total of about 146. So what we're taking out of the sewer cost of the trailer court alley is about equal to what the cost is to replace the water line in the Grand Street alley. So just another option to consider.
I think Grand Street, we just have to put on hold.
I hate to say it, because we do have that empty building up the street, the big white elephant, that I just don't feel comfortable spending a whole bunch of money right now, as much as I want to see that alley done. So if we did that alley, and we did the trailer court and took out the sewer portion of that, that dollar amount, what did you say would be, John?
It would be about $144,000.
So then the 144, you take away the 70, we'd still be 70. Yeah. 74,000 in. Which still, what is in our capital account at this
We've
time?
got about $200,000 to work with. We've got $49,000 in unallocated funds. We've got $40,000 in the shortstop fund, and we've got $111,000 in the 401, the designated infrastructure improvement fund. So we've got $200,000 of unallocated money.
And the thing is, if we wait till next year, there might be our RRB money
That's
for
right.
it. There may be more money we can get from the CDBG for the alley projects.
What do you recommend, doing the two waters?
I would, the two waters, I think, solves both kind of the immediate concerns.
Because we did the sewer over there already.
The low water pressure at the trailer court plus the
Yeah.
number of Band-Aids you got on the
Yes.
water line in that area.
And we haven't had much trouble with that sewer line. And the other thing is that water line runs
Yeah,
actually almost not even in the alley.
they're far enough apart, and it's kind of a wider alley too, it's not as tight
Yeah.
as some of the alleys
Yep.
we have, so there is room. You know, it's just the future restoration of, digging it up again to do the sewer, I mean, that's,
So John, looking at everything as what it is and where we're at, the spot we're in with this building and everything, but still with these problems, you're recommending that we do the alleys, both of them, do both of these water projects?
yeah, yes, I would
The water
recommend.
part of it.
We're gonna not award the base bid and combine a couple things that we talked about, it would be base bid less the sewer plus the Grand Street alley. I think
So the
getting that
cost to
done
the
would-
city will be about 74,000.
Yeah, it's about the same as I came up with.
Okay. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, that makes sense. We're spending the same amount of money. That would be completely done because we did the sewer a
Right.
few years ago.
Right,
And
And
we've
for
had
the
some
trouble
complaints
it's
on the
had.
alley, so once they bowl it and shape it, it's gonna be good to go.
yeah. What do you think, Stuart?
Yep, might as well do it. Make a motion to, go ahead with,
Two water projects?
two water projects.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. No,
Thanks, John.
John, when did they say they can start on this?
Yeah, when they we're finishing some work in Chisholm, and then it started up in Evlith. Evlith was kind of delayed in awarding their project too because of the, we got that CDBG grant agreement just a few weeks ago, like a lot of other
Right.
communities. So he's over there. He thought towards the end of August, third week of August.
Okay,
And then I did talk to him about, because part of the base bid still includes that Front Street driveway. And I told him, Joey and I talked about And when he gets to town, he'll go and prep that and do the removals and coordinate it with his subcontractor who will do the concrete work. You know, so typically you do all the restoration at the end of the project, but I told him we can, like to get that driveway addressed, you know,
Right.
as soon as they, you know, they can start working on it, so.
Very good.
And I know Jen and I talked about setting up a meeting with the gentleman and reviewing everything again and making sure we're good to go with them, so that's.
Right.
So if we run that water line, can we nipple in the sewers, especially on the 5 on the west side?
When I looked at the cost, John, I kinda took into account that we'd be replacing some of the sewer services
yeah.
just because we'd be crossing them.
Yeah, because there's 5 on that side and 12 on that side.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just,
okay. Perfect.
Thank you, John.
and I don't think December or November 1st completion date, we'll put that into the agreement with them too, that seems.
Okay.
Right.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah,
good.
yeah, we don't want any more water breaks this winter. All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, John. C, application for temporary liquor license for the curling club is requesting for the Deer Hunters Banquet.
I'll make a motion that we allow the curling club to have a temporary liquor license.
Oh, second.
I'll support it. Non-curler.
I think Stuart just did.
Well,
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Sheriff's car. All right, we have 2 quotes for the tear down. What do we want to do?
Looks like our Michelle's better.
Armory Shell.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we go with Armour Shell, the lowest bid of the 2.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Discussion on Martin Hughes School. I don't know if you guys think it's time to move on. Have we heard anything from Missouri, from the outfit out there?
I just heard from them the other day and they're still working on the numbers.
It's been going on for almost a year, and I just think at some point we might want to, you know, step up our efforts to market that building. I think if it doesn't happen pretty quick here, we're so well into the real estate season right now that all these months have rolled by, and it was last fall that they first expressed interest. And I'd love it if they came. What I get from Darcy is that it would be probably about $7,500 if they're gonna go in there and do all they do to market it nationally and internationally. But she said if this firm, if they come in, if we go ahead and hire them to start marketing this, and at some point this Missouri firm decides that they do want it, then there would be a flat fee of $4,000 to the city for all the work that they do to get it out there on the market, but they would handle all the legal paperwork and all that stuff for it. That's what she said. So I don't know if we want to do something at this time. I sure don't want to wait too much longer before we step up our efforts again, because there's nothing happening.
The only thing that, if Jen could get some other quotes that are comparable to what they're gonna do, so that we have some options to go with, instead of just going with her and spending a lot more money.
There isn't other realtors that have called and are interested in, they've asked if we're looking for.
If you could, next council meeting, put together like 4 or 5 people.
When you go, there's 88 properties in the surrounding area. These are all listed on the IRRB's website. Just nothing's moving. You look, some are listed by realtors, most are listed by the people who own the building.
Yeah, that's what, I was looking at
I'm
that too.
hearing a
and,
lot of feedback, just nothing's moving.
If, we could put it out there and put a price on it, but that price isn't gonna be very much.
We do have it listed a lot of places. We have pictures. The IRRB just did it up and they send out this Northland Connections thing this goes nationwide. there's a lot of resources that we're utilizing right now. And we do have money in the account. And in regards to the heating season, the only expense that the city is going to have, because the Minnesota energy bill is, we are able to use part of those funds to pay anything that's non-city of Buhl. So the Minnesota energy bill, we will be able to use some funds for. That's about $7,000 a month.
I think
We do
just
have a
let
nice
the,
chunk of change in that
let's
account.
give it a couple months and just see what direction we have. I mean, we're Missouri people are spending a lot of time and money on this, so let's just see what they come up
And
with.
if we could have Jen contact some other
Well,
realtors and
See
get price
costs.
comparisons. You know, that's what I wanna see, is some price comparisons.
To what, if they do the same kind of thing? We had her look once before and all she could find was down in the cities that did these commercial, international.
There is somebody local who wants to come and talk to the council, actually. He told me this a while ago, and he does the same thing that she does.
That's fine. But I don't want to do anything with this right now.
I don't want to hold out too much longer, John, because it's been almost a year, and we just can't sit with that building and hope for one outfit to decide to use it. We can't say to the people in Buhl, we're doing all we can if there are other options that we still haven't used. And I think getting a professional in, and if there's somebody else who does this kind of thing, I think great, let's look at what they have to offer too and compare them, and let's see if we can't get somebody to push. If we don't hear from, and it'll be 2 more weeks before we have another meeting, and see if maybe they have anything more to say at the Missouri end of this thing. I mean, I would love to see them come in and utilize our whole building, but at some point we've got to push and make more efforts again, because nothing's happened. It's been just dead.
Well-
And we aren't just waiting on them. We are doing other things. And actually, the county commissioner called Missouri last week. Rick Nolan's office has called them. So everybody is trying to help move that along. But in the meantime, we're doing other things. And we've contacted some people who have gone on the tours and see if they're still interested. And so we're just not holding out for one.
Right, I understand, but we haven't had anybody coming to look at the building, I guess is what I'm saying.
So
Yeah.
So,
it's
Well,
a tough sell.
can you do that, Jen, get
Yeah, absolutely.
comparison on
Okay.
prices?
Great.
Okay. All right. We'll move on to discussion about the disc golf course.
I just thought it's an ongoing project, just to keep it on, just to
Yep,
see
I can tell you what I know to date now. I haven't been able to get a hold of Tim, and I don't know if he's been on vacation. I finally talked to him this past week, and we haven't connected to get him and the other guy to sign our agreement, but I'm supposed to meet with them after the council meeting tonight to do it.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that the rain hasn't kept them from coming to town. I'll give him a call when I leave here. One thing that Tim did say, though, he's kind of concerned with, is that they do want to make one change to, rather than putting concrete around the baskets, they're looking at AstroTurf. And he said that it would be of an equivalent cost. And he said it's not in the grant, but he's sure the IRRB wouldn't have a problem with it. So I called Jim Plummer, and he is the Laurentian Vision Coordinator. He's the one in charge of this grant business. And he said, no, there's no problem with that at all. As long as the costs stay right in the same ballpark, if it's equivalent, that would be fine. So that's really all I have to date. They haven't started even with the brush cutter over here yet. They were called into Side Lake to work on the baskets over there, so they get calls from all over to come help out with these courses. So they've been a little delayed here, but they'll be moving in and doing more brushing and clearing and stuff, but it's going to be next year before this project is completed.
Okay. Good.
Okay? And let's see. Our additions to the agenda, we have, I talked with Bonnie, the auditor, about that special meeting. I couldn't make it, and I would really like to be there when she comes to talk. She said that her main concern that she had brought up was that we have some kind of written agreements with like our senior center, our curling clubs, the buildings that the city owns, that there's agreement and understanding between the parties so that everybody's on page and the city knows. I mean, we're ultimately responsible for, if they're renting out their buildings, you know, what are they renting them for? What are they doing with that money? Those kind of things. So anyway, she said that she could meet with us August 7th or 8th, if one of those worked, but I have to be
I
gone.
think Diana's gone too on vacation.
So it would be later this month, but she didn't sound like she thought it was urgent. She said it's just something that she's found with other cities is that they have these different entities in town and no written agreement where there's an understanding of, you know, what responsibilities the city has and what these people who are taking care and using are their end of the deal. So it's more or less just to come to terms with, and I would like to see us actually approach the people who are, the curlers who are using the club, the seniors who are using the club, and let's find out what do they have for agreements over there. Do we have anything like that?
We don't, but I was talking with Bonnie, it's the facilities and the properties, so it
Right.
would include Lake Leander or the disc
Right.
golf, or, but, so our goal is to, by January 1st, like you said, meet with these entities that use these places and
Right.
implement some kind of
Well, I
agreement.
think the written agreement with the disc golf is the first one we've had. And there may be more that we should do with that one eventually too. But to get on board with these other facilities too, if we could contact the Boy Scout troop and the seniors and the curlers and just say, could you give us a copy of just what you do, what your, you know, do you charge rent? What do you do when you
Or
run the
meet
place?
other towns.
How much do you pay the city? You know, those kind of things. So that we can see what they're doing and we can decide if we think it needs any kind of adjustment. And then that agreement would be drawn up through the city attorney, of course. But Bonnie said she's happy to come and meet with us when she gets back later this month if we still would like to meet. So, and I think that would be good, but we could maybe even get her to come,
6 o'clock
yeah.
on a meeting night.
On a
Yeah.
meeting night would be good, yeah.
I mean,
Sounds great.
with her schedule, I mean, if she
Right.
can make one of our Tuesdays,
Yeah, that would be perfect.
better, yeah.
Okay, we have an application for a raffle permit for that's the Deer Hunters Association again. They're asking, they want to have an application for an exempt,
I'll make a motion that we
Permit.
allow the Deer Hunter Association to have a raffling permit.
Support.
any further discussion, all in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We have municipal tort liability, we do this every year, and
Yep.
this is the waiver form. If we do not waive the monetary limits on tort reform, if we did waive this, the city could be sued for up to 1,500,000 limit. So you recommend that we do not waive?
Yeah, that's the option, is
Right.
the member does not waive.
Now, I'll make a motion that we do not waive the monetary limits on the municipal tort liability.
I'll support.
Any further discussion?
that being free counsel, is that good?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a
A lot of people we
As
have.
long as you're here.
Yeah, we had a few nods.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.